Folks, we've got breaking news. Since James Comer has issued a subpoena to Ghislaine Maxwell for deposition that will occur, has now been set for August 11th. We're talking 2.5 weeks away at the Federal Correction Institute in Tallahassee. They're going to literally depose her from the jail cell, probably bring in maybe cameras, and hopefully get the full transcript. Hopefully it'd be nice to be able to see the full deposition so somebody could actually pick it apart and see how much of this stuff is probably provable. That's the kicker there. And what is she going to want in return? But at any rate, everybody said the Epstein files were over. They were dead. We weren't going to get nothing else. Trump tried to say that as well. And Bondi tried to pull that crap. It's not over, folks. Matter of fact, it may be reconstituted, started from scratch with the original witnesses, starting with Miss Maxwell. I love it, folks. We're going to find something out here soon. So don't hold your breath, folks, on prosecutions. But maybe we'll get enough exposure that we can get criminal investigation referrals for some of these people that are dead to right, wrong on this situation. Been on the plane, been on the island. That's close enough to guilty for me. But at any rate, hopefully they'll all get their day in court, all these people that are possible suspects, instead of just being forgot about. Because that's what bothers me the most, especially the architects of such things. This wasn't a two-man operation. This took a lot of people for all this human trafficking to happen. And in light of that, we've got other breaking news. I'm talking about what has happened in the last couple of hours. Now, Tulsi Gabbard come on the White House press briefing with Caroline Leavitt, and they both discussed the Epstein, or the Obamagate that's going on right now with the Russia collusion BS. And CNN was playing it because it was a live feed. CNN was in the room at the White House, along with many other news organizations, filming the live stream of Tulsi's speech. And all of a sudden, Tulsi starts dropping bombs. What did CNN expect? So they cut to the mic. They start talking over, as they used to do Trump, and still do at times. What it is they're in damage control. They don't know what to do, that the truth is coming out. Well, CNN, even though you cut Tulsi Gabbard off, the rest of the world's seeing the video. Everybody but just the CNN listeners. Matter of fact, it's over on MSDNC. It's on ABC. It's on CBS. This story is being talked about. It's too big not to mention on every news station. Now, they've all got their little bit of spin. It's just allegations and hypothetical and conspiracy. They're using those words on the mainstream media. But the American people see through that bullshit at this point. There was probably a lot of people today thinking, God, I've been lied to for 4 years. If nothing else, there's a lot of the American people that are waking up to the fact that they thought they were a Democrat until they realized they're not a Democrat. They just been drinking the lies of the Democrats. And the lies are all being exposed in record time, in neck break speed, folks. And I love it. So let's go ahead and catch CNN with their fake news cutaway as soon as it starts getting juicy. But don't worry, folks. We're going to play the whole clip here as well. Check out this great start to... it's Obama's fault. He did it. He was the architect. He planned it. And he set it up.
Multiple intelligence community assessments released in the months leading up to the November 2016 election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election. On December 5th...
We've been listening there to the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, continuing...
And that's as far as she got before they went to blathering, talking over her.
On what has now been a multi-day effort, not only with public statements like this, but release of documents to attempt to back up the quite extreme allegations.
An attempt to back up extreme allegations. If you had actually done your homework as a reporter, you would know these are not allegations. Matter of fact, you probably know the exact truth of the situation like the rest of the world. You're just on the wrong side of history here, so you're still playing the denial game. Come on now.
And that President Obama is guilty of treason and that he worked in some sort of conspiracy with Hillary Clinton, etc. In the assessment, by the intelligence community at the time that Russia interfered in the
Isn't that about the lamest way of trying to decide what somebody said for them by cutting them off? That is so lame. I hope CNN listeners see through that crap that we weren't even allowed to hear, or they were not allowed to hear what Tulsi said. Instead, he ad-libbed what he thought she meant. That is not news. That is not reporting. That is not investigative journalism, folks. That is bad news. I bet CNN goes viral behind this particular clip, because this is kind of like the let's go Brandon thing. You can't hide it. It's there in your face. You can't pretend it's not there. Everybody knows. Stop denying it. So CNN is looking a fool again. This is breaking news. DNI Tulsi Gabbard took the mic at the White House briefing and dropped the nuclear bomb on Barack Obama. She used the word irrefutable. It's finally happening. Declassified report is out, and it proves that what many have suspected for years, Obama was behind the Russia hoax. Tulsi released it all. At President Trump's direction, and with the support from the House Intel Chair Rick Crawford. Today we released the Declassified Oversight Majority Staff Report from September 2020. Then came the hammer. There is irrefutable evidence, and we'll let you hear her words for it. You know, folks, they're going to find out stuff about the 2016, the 2020, and the 2024 by the time this is over. I have no doubt in my mind. A lot of these people are the same crew that have been doing this dirty game for 8 years now.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. At President Trump's direction and with the support and coordination with the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Rick Crawford, today we've released a declassified Oversight Majority Staff Report that was produced in September of 2020. The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false.
You see there, that's a statement CNN could not take.
They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence and credible intelligence that disproved their false claims. They disobeyed traditional tradecraft intelligence community standards and withheld the truth from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016. They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a years-long coup against him and his administration.
Boom. Wow. I mean, we've heard it for several days. Traitorous, treasonous activity, a coup. We've heard these words, but now we're getting down to the details of the treason, the timeline of the treason. This is how America's feeling right now, especially people that knew this the entire time, like me and you, all the listeners here on this channel. We knew about this Russia collusion hoax. For years now, we've known that it was bullshit. But now, even mainstream media is forced to report, after 7 years, 8 years of lying about it themselves, that in the end, they're going to have to report. We effed up. We promoted the bullshit. And we're probably going to be held liable for it in the end, because you could probably prove that CNN and MSNBC and several of these left-wing outlets and all the papers as well were in on this. Not just agreed that that's probably the truth about Trump. No. They were in on it from the get-go. And so at this point, they're beyond complacent. They were not just complacent and negligent. They were meaningfully and willfully malicious towards Trump and his entire team with the lies, the propaganda machine, otherwise known as the government's mainstream media arm. Tulsi just announced she has officially referred Barack Obama to the Department of Justice for criminal prosecutions. I could hear Joe Rogan now. Ah! Yep, that would be great. It's just a gift, folks. And it is a gift. Thank God. I think these folks are probably going to go to jail, folks. I don't think everybody is talking about them being prosecuted. The evidence is being laid out before us. And even Trump is calling for criminal prosecutions. President Trump has made himself clear. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden must be prosecuted for their role in the Russia collusion hoax. The clock is ticking. Pam Bondi. Trump says Obama himself manufactured the Russia hoax. Crooked Hillary, Sleepy Joe, and numerous others participated in this. The crime of the century. Irrefutable evidence. I think irrefutable will be the trending word ASAP. Just going to guess on that one, but very good possibility. It says irrefutable evidence, and they were a major threat to our country. So that is a real threat to democracy when the outgoing president refuses to leave by trying to crap on the incoming president because he's still got his own team still in position to do harm. That is what you call a sore loser. That's Barack Obama, folks. It says if there are no arrests for these crimes, the people committing crimes will continue to do so. Justice demands accountability. Without justice, we do not have a society. We need to see arrests ASAP now. Without arrest, we may as well throw in the towel. We won't have a country any longer. Yeah, there'll be no reason for these criminals not to continue this activity in the future. The Republicans aren't that mean, so the Democrats inevitably will use lawfare and their shitty tactics, like you weaponizing our government in the future, because it worked before. Why not continue to do it? So this has got to be stopped. This has got to be prevented, and this has got to be punished. Make an example of the people the Clappers, the Brennans, the Comeys, the Susan Rice, the Lisa Monaco, the people that were actively implicated in not just being a part of the problem, a part of the coup, but were orchestrating their best to make the coup real. And I'll put Adam Schiff in that bunch as well. Folks, we're going to get to the bottom of the J6 committee crap. The phony J6 committee crap. We're going to get to the bottom of so many things over the next couple of years, and we are just going through the can of worms right now. We've got Act Blue to deal with. We got USAID prosecutions coming down the pike. We've got bribery charges coming for some of these politicians before it's over. I do believe that will be some of the final results to get some of these clowns out of there. But more than that, I want to see the Department of Justice, the CIA, and the FBI to have a good cleaning out. And this particular case here may be just what we need to get the eye of Sauron on every one of these cretins that are still got a job because they're Obama holdovers. That's part of the problem. That was the problem with Trump's first term. He didn't have anybody on his team, and then he had Obama's leftovers in there. So it was just Trump was working with a bunch of people that really hated him, didn't trust him, and refused to play fair. Now, this here is breaking news as well, folks. This is awesome. Listen to this. This here is the solution, and it sounds like task force SWAT team type situation. It says, press release, officially, the Justice Department announces formation of strike force to access evidence publicized by ODNI, the Office of Director of National Intelligence. It says, today the Department of Justice announced that let me grab my glasses, folks. I'm squinting again. Hold on. Wow, these suckers are dirty. It says the Department of Justice announced the formation of a strike force to access the evidence publicized by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard and investigate potential legal steps which might stem from DNI Gabbard's disclosure. The department takes alleged weaponization of the intelligence community with the utmost seriousness. Upon the formation of the strike force, Attorney General Pam Bondi stated, "The Department of Justice is proud to work with my friend, Director Gabbard. We are grateful for her partnership in delivering accountability for the American people. We will investigate these troubling disclosures fully and leave no stone unturned to deliver justice." So Pam Bondi says we're going to create a strike force to deal with this investigation with expediency. And does that mean in a couple of weeks, when we've been able to just say, okay, here's all the evidence we have on Brock, here's all the evidence we have on Clapper, this is all the evidence we have on Brennan, when we get to that point, which we're pretty close to already, I'm sure, because this evidence has been out there since 2017, 2018, since Devin Nunes, Mark Meadows, and Kash Patel were involved. That's how long a lot of us have known some of the details of this. And we're going to find out much more new revelations about this as this case unfolds like a blooming onion. But I will say this is an absolute fact. Somebody's going to jail behind this. They're not going to get us to the edge of the cliff with the criminals and let them walk it back. I don't think it's going to work like that. I do not believe we're going to be put in that position again. I'm sure the Trump administration's seen how we feel about injustice when they tried to blow us off behind the Epstein crap. Didn't work. We're going to get some of that as well. That'll probably be a never-ending story with the Jeffrey Epstein thing. But this here, we can close the book on after we close the cell door on all these criminals, traitors, treasonous usurpers. So the Department of Justice is announcing the formation of a strike force to establish evidence publicized by the DNI. That is great news. So the DOJ and the Pam Bondi DOJ and Tulsi Gabbard DNI are working hand in hand with a group task force in order to get this stuff squared away. Get these people squared away, not stuff, people squared away. And I can't wait, folks. I do actually have some faith in the system today for some reason. I've never believed that Democrats could go to jail before because I've never seen it. I don't know that Democrats have ever went to jail for much of anything serious, even though a lot of them are just really, really horrible criminal elements in our society. I'm talking about the Pelosi types and the people running the three-lettered agencies in the past. Well, at this rate, folks, what we're going to get to, if everything goes as planned, we're going to get some plea deals. We're going to get some people telling on each other. We're going to get some people locked up. We're going to get some people losing their clearances. We're going to get some people fired at the least. But more than that, I think we're going to get some exposure that warrants accountability. And not just from the conservatives that listen to these podcasts, but everybody in America that is, for the first time, realizing Russia wasn't Trump's fault. Really? So I've been lied to for this whole time by my favorite news channel? I think that is going to become a gripping reality for a lot of people on the independent and Democrat brainwash team. Hopefully so. There's a lot of people that had no clue up until probably today that Trump was innocent of all this crap. That's what I got for you today, folks. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and share. Just trying to keep it simple, keep it short, but keeping you informed as well. Have a great day. Over and out.